I'm Becky Whippie, and I'm talking about making shrubs as they would have done in the 18th century, which was a drinking vinegar beverage. Something to give you a different flavor and enjoy the taste of fruits as they came along in this growing season. And so today we have a strawberry shrub and a rhubarb shrub. I'm going to show you how to make a simple strawberry shrub, which is a strawberry syrup made with vinegar and sweetener. In this case, we'll be using maple syrup tomorrow. Both the maple syrup and the vinegar helps preserve the fruit from spoiling due to lack of refrigeration. So we are going to need to take some fresh strawberries and mash them till we get equal parts. So I thought I'd just start pretty simply, where I would mash a cup's worth of strawberry pulp, and I have a cup of vinegar to sort of meld or ferment them for a very short while and treat them to be sort of preserved with the vinegar and create a syrup. But at this point we're going to see if we have a cup. So that wasn't very many at all. It's not quite a cup. So I'll just do a couple more. That's a cup of strawberries. And I'm going to put this in this little crock, stoneware crock. And I'm going to put a cup of vinegar in there also. And then it needs to be stirred around. So I'm just going to use my masher here to stir it. Now at this point, I'm going to cover it overnight so no critters get in there with a cheesecloth. And tomorrow we'll come back and we'll add the sugar. The other day I crushed a cup of strawberries and had them sitting in a cup of vinegar, and today we're going to strain those out. I have some cheesecloth over a bowl, and if I had another crock it probably would have been easier to do it here. We'll see how this works. I'm just going to pour the strawberry pulp and vinegar right into the bowl, into the cheesecloth, and then I'm going to pick it up, and hopefully all that's left is the strawberry flavored vinegar. Now I can save these strawberries for the next time I want to make some preserves, and that will add a bit of a vinegar tang to the jam. But I think kind of excited about that, because so far all we have here is strawberries and vinegar. The next thing I'm going to do is add the maple sugar. And because this container is bigger and for stirring, I think I'm going to pour this back into the crock. And then I'm going to add my maple sugar. And then I want this sugar to completely dissolve. So I'm going to stir for a while, and hopefully, now it will dissolve. If I was in a hurry, I may have chosen to heat it, but I think when you heat something, you're removing some of the beneficial features of it. This is raw apple cider vinegar in whole crushed strawberries, and now it's maple sugar. And both the sugar and the vinegar are going to help preserve this shrub base. And the maple sugar is dissolving fairly well. I'm not sure you can see it, but you'll see it when I pour it into a glass next. Okay, so I'm pretty happy about that. Great. So you may make a rhubarb shrub as well. So to pick rhubarb, you find your rhubarb plant and you reach way down low to the bottom and just pull up. If you cut it off and leave a leftover piece of stem, it just rots and damages the rest of the plant. At this point, you can cut it off and it won't be bothersome to you. So I'm just going to cut that, all these ends. The other thing to consider with rhubarb is that you have to be sure not to eat the leaves. The leaves of rhubarb have oxalic acid in them, and you don't want those. So you just want to cut those off too. So I'm looking for about 2 cups of rhubarb this time, because we're wanting the fluids from the rhubarb to create the shrub. So I'm aiming for 1/4-inch pieces, and as I do this, I'm going to measure. This is a cup measurement, and then this time we're going to add the sugar first instead of the vinegar first. Okay, so we have 2 cups of rhubarb and we have 2 cups of sugar. So I'm going to pour that in and I'm going to mix that around. Now, because this is rhubarb and it's quite a tart vegetable to begin with, I really have got to work the sugar into it, and then I have to let it set because we want the juice from the rhubarb. And rhubarb is less juicy initially than strawberries or other berries. So I'm actually going to find a non-reactive dish or container inside, and I'm going to cover it and let it sit for 4 or 5 days. We'll see what we end up with after that time. Okay, so I found just what I was looking for, a non-reactive container and it comes with a cover. So mix the sugar and the rhubarb, and we're going to just allow it to sit so that we have a kind of a sugary sweet rhubarb syrup that we will then add our vinegar to, because we're going to remove the rhubarb from it after it is infused. 4 days ago, I chopped up some rhubarb and placed 2 cups of rhubarb and placed them in 2 cups of sugar, and I've been stirring regularly, and today we're going to strain and press the flavors of the rhubarb as best we can out of the rhubarb pulp, and what we will have left is a sugary sweet syrup mixture. The simple thing about shrubs is that if you can remember 3 equal parts of vinegar, fruit, and sugar or sweetener, then you can make your own shrub too. So next I have the rhubarb, and that's 2 cups of rhubarb in 2 cups of sugar. And so now I want to strain the rhubarb pulp to make a drink out of this. And my rhubarb was a combination of red and green stalks, so I didn't expect, and as I didn't expect, I didn't get I also didn't get all my sugar dissolved, even though I stirred it a couple of times every day. The vinegar will help dissolve it when we add the vinegar next. And neither of these have been refrigerated. So in the colonial times, as you know, they did not have refrigeration. So I'm going to kind of follow their method and trust in vinegar, which I have most of my life. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to just try to get the rhubarb removed, and I may need to press that with a fork because the pulp on the rhubarb is so much more stiff than it is was with the strawberries. So even though I had 2 cups of rhubarb chopped and 2 cups of sugar, I don't think I'm going to come away with 2 cups of pulp. And it's mostly just sort of sweet, sugary syrup with a hint of rhubarb. So don't be scared away at the sour taste, especially since we've got 2 cups of sugar in here. I think we'll be okay. I'm going to set that aside. And because my crock still has some sugar in it, I'm going to pour this syrup back into the crock and then add the vinegar to that. So I probably should have measured that. So I'm gonna use this bowl as my measure. I only had that much syrup, so I'm only gonna put that much vinegar in it. Good, now I'm going to stir. Okay, rhubarb shrub. Got some glasses here, and it seems like the fruity material and sweet sugar syrup has attracted creatures. I'm going to, they suggest 1 to 2 tablespoons of your flavoring or your shrub syrup, and then 3 to 5 parts water. Another idea, of course, when you have strawberry and rhubarb shrub, you could mix a tablespoon of each in your glass and have strawberry rhubarb shrub. Okay, rhubarb shrub, which took the color of the not colorful rhubarb that I had in my garden and the white refined sugar. Let's give that a taste. Oh, that's very good. I'm a rhubarb fan. It's not a strong rhubarb flavor. It just cuts back the vinegar flavor. So I like it very much. Okay, very good. And the strawberry is, of course, a more beautiful color, but it is, I'm a fan of strawberries too. Yes, both are very good. Ice would be an improvement, and some fun herbs to add into that would be a delight as well, like mint perhaps. So we could give those things a try. So give it a try. I hope you enjoy it. It was pretty simple to do. 1 cup of fruit, 1 cup of sweetener, 1 cup of raw apple cider vinegar, because the mother is in that helping you to ferment and preserve your stored shrubs, as they would have done in the 18th century. Have a great day.